whether we shall act or whether we shall be silent. What goes on in our minds is of vital importance. The thoughts that we think, the perceptions that we have, in particular of others. Proverbs 23:7 reads, as a person thinks he or she, so as he or she does. Jesus changed the rules of spiritual cleanliness and uncleanliness by saying, it does not matter what you eat, whether you eat pork or not. It's not what goes into the body that renders one unclean. It's what comes out of your heart, out of your mind, out of your inner essence, out of your soul. What are you thinking right now? What thoughts are going through your mind that no one else is aware of? What prejudice do you have that you dare not say? What hatreds control you? What painful memories reveal themselves in nightmares which have plagued you all of your life? We're called to release them by talking about them, by bringing them out, by dealing with the things that we are afraid to say out loud. I love that joke that we oftentimes see on television, that when someone says something disturbing or something awkward, they stop and look around and say, did I say that out loud? We need to say out loud those things that are inside of us, and to speak and to be clear, in order that God can help us to grow and to understand truly who we are and how life has impacted us. I was at a conference just this past week dealing with the issue of race and reconciliation. It was a panel discussion, and I spoke for about 20 minutes, and then afterwards we took questions and talked about ways in which the church can be involved in the same topic of race and reconciliation that we dealt with this morning. And while there, one of the participants she was out in the audience, and she was disturbed, I think, by some of the issues of talking about racism, in particular relationship with white working people and on the local level. And she asked me a question. She said, well, what about the white working man who can't find a job? And he goes to a job interview and he doesn't get the job, but he finds out later that an Asian or a Native American or a Negro gets the job. Well, I hesitated when she said Negro. I looked around and everybody was looking out, everybody looked straight ahead and nobody said anything. So I said to her, I said, well, can I ask you a question? Did you really say Negro? So she said, yeah, I said Negro. And so I was talking with a friend of mine I've known for over 20 years, and I asked him, I said, do you know that lady? He says, yeah, I've known her quite a while. I've been in this Presbyterian. And he says, I was so proud of her. I was glad she didn't say colored. The challenges before us today. And there are things that are going on around us that only our faith in Jesus Christ can help us to deal with. And there are times when we must talk to each other quite candidly of how we feel. And the thing about being a person of faith, and I've really found this to be true, that when we talk openly, sharing our fears and our prejudice, that oftentimes the response is not as volatile as we have feared. And oftentimes it helps us all to grow and to be a better person and to deal with the things that are within us. Well, Mordecai's first sentence to her said that do not think in your own mind that in the king's palace you will escape any more than all the Jews. Mordecai moves from challenging her thought process to appealing to Esther's survival instinct. He threatens her chances of survival by raising a question of her uniqueness. He feels that he knows her well enough to assume what she is thinking, that in her isolation in the palace, that she might think that they will protect her, that she is the queen, and if the worst comes to bear, she will not have to suffer as the others do. But Mordecai shatters any illusions she might have that she is uniquely situated, and that she holds a special place in the king's heart and kingdom. He's saying to her that you are just as much at risk as every other Jew in Persia. But I also think that on a basic level, Mordecai is attempting to link the faith of the Jewish people with Esther's faith. That she is living, yes, a life of privilege, and he is trying to convince her that the lives of poor Jewish children matter and should matter to her. That their lives are intertwined with her own life. That what happens to them involves her own future. That Esther should love them as much as she loves herself. 1 John states that we cannot love God whom we have not seen and hate our brother whom we see every day. This executive order limiting immigration and refugee resettlement into this country that was issued. On the eve of the release, literally thousands of people rallied to the front of the Supreme Court building in the freezing cold. They rallied holding up signs supporting immigrants and protesting peacefully far into the night. And I walked in their midst and felt affirmed by the fact that so many young people cared about the fate of refugees. And one of the strongest, most persistent voices of protest in Washington, D.C. has come from the Christian community, which has said firmly, refugees are welcome here. As we held a press conference on the steps of the New York Avenue Presbyterian Church, it was moving to hear the passion and concern for those that we had little in common with. We saw them as our brothers and our sisters and as children of God. Mordecai then moves to a different approach, and then he says to her, possibly his most powerful message, if you keep silent. If you keep silent. This for me is one of the most challenging statements to Esther. If you keep silent. At this time when her people need to hear her voice, she has already refused to speak out for fear of her own life. To dare to approach the king without being summoned, regardless of how urgent you feel, is to take your life into your own hands. And the easy thing to do is to stay where it is safe and remain silent. Though we all face this challenge at one time or another. We're with family members, and someone says something which is just plain ugly. And because we know that if we challenge them, they might not respond in a calm manner, so we say nothing. A friend who has prejudices against people who have done no harm dislikes them simply because of the group into which they were born. And she has gotten so used to our silence that she thinks that our opinions are the same, but they are not. And there comes a time when we as a church must raise our voice in disagreement, in opposition, and in contrast to words and actions of hate and divisiveness. What we say matters, but also what we do not say can have impact. And lastly, he said to her, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place. Esther is one of only two books in the Bible that does not mention God. The Song of Psalms and Esther. And yet I believe that this is a strong promise of faith in God, a theological promise of hope that Mordecai says to her that if you don't act, that God shall send you none. And is that not our faith, church? That God is the God of the impossible. That with human beings that truly things are impossible. With God all things are able to be accomplished. Our faith in Jesus Christ, we believe in a poor carpenter's son who was poor, who walked around, who could read and write, but was not a scholar and was not even trained as a rabbi, that he was nailed to a cross as a criminal, public execution, and that on the third day God raised him from the dead. That in his words we find life. That when we read the story of the Gospels, when we read about Jesus Christ, that our lives are transformed and salvation is guaranteed to all who believe. But we must not keep our faith private. It is personal, but not private. And we make public proclamations that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And because he lives, we have life. And it's indeed our responsibility to share that life with the world. To let this world know that we are a people of love, a people of forgiveness, a people of grace, a people who even make sacrifices in order that others might have life. For the Church of Jesus Christ in this moment of divisiveness in the life of this country, this is a Kairos moment. This is the moment that we've been called into being for. To step up and to speak, not separating one another, people from one another, but stepping up and saying that there is another way. Life does not have to be as difficult as it is. Oh yes, Mordecai, he challenged Esther, but he also challenged each one of us. And he concluded by saying, for such a time as this, that this is the moment that you are allowed to be queen. I close with the story of Wesley Orchard, and I believe it's a story that most of us have heard, how in 2007 in New York City at the subway on the 137th Street platform with his two girls standing beside him, he noticed that a man was having an attack, and while they were standing there at the edge of the platform, Cameron pulled up here. He fell down between the tracks. And Audrey said that he had a decision to make at this time. And he reached over to his two girls and he pushed them back and told the gentleman standing there, take care of my two girls. And he also jumped down on the tracks. And he looked up and he saw that a train, the number one train, was rapidly approaching him. And he had a decision to make, either jump off the track and save himself or make a radical decision. And at that moment, he decided that he would lay down on top of this man as the train rolled over top of him. And the story is told that there was less than an inch of separation between his body and the body in water on the train. And the reporter asked him, says, how did you know that there was enough distance for you to lay on top of Cameron and to save both of your lives? And he simply said, I did not know. And he is quoted 5 years later as talking about this in an interview. And he said, you know, I'm glad I did what I did, and I wouldn't change that day. I wouldn't change me. I'm always about helping people. I could have taken this to a whole different level and become an actor or a singer or something, but I think God has a calling for me. That is what the book of Esther teaches us, that God has a calling for each one of us, that our lives have meaning and purpose. And as people of the Christian faith, our purpose is to spread the message of love. Jesus said simply, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. For this is the time of the church. In Jesus' name, amen.